and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, joined by my guy Big Game James, and you know it's another episode of Best of Enemies. Today we got some friends with us. You know what I'm saying? Today we got some friends with us. We got my guy Denzel Washington, aka Philly 500 himself, my dog in the building, and we got Cowboys fan talk, Mr. Rome. So today we're gonna talk some Eagles. We're gonna talk some Cowboys. There is an Eagles game at 1:00, so we're gonna keep this kind of sweet and concise. You know what I'm saying? But before we get into that round table, how are you guys doing? We'll start with you, James. How's it been? It's been a week since we've been back here, so good to be back. But how you doing, brother?
Always doing good, man. It's good to have Philly 500. It's my first time ever doing a show with him. Shout outs to you. Really appreciate you jumping on. Always appreciate my dog, Big Rome. Shout out to you for getting that 13K. You've been killing it in these Cowboy streets. You know what I'm saying? So I always love seeing how Rome gives it. And of course, you know, Joe, I really appreciate you, what we do on the Best of Enemies podcast. So I'm doing good. Just a selfish plug. I got a couple of interviews dropping for some young high school guys. Make sure you check out that. Couple quarterback and receiver dual combination. I actually got to see him out here in Columbus because I called the game. So I jumped in the inbox. We came in with a hard interview. So make sure you go support those kids out there. We got a lot of great fire interviews, a lot of great things going on. So like I said, there's a lot of negativity going around about these young people, man, but there's a lot of young people doing good in these streets. So when you see that, go support it. And I appreciate all you guys jumping on here, and I appreciate let's have a good time.
Yes, yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. 500 Rome, how y'all doing, man? It's been a while since we all worked together individually, so it's good to have y'all both back on here. But how y'all feeling, man? Football is so close.
I'll go first because 500 is 500, so I'll let him go after me. Appreciate you having me on, Joe. Appreciate first time meeting 500 as well. Obviously, I'm a fan. I pay attention to what you do on a daily basis. Y'all are where I get my Eagles content from, so I don't pay attention to national media. I just watch y'all. James, you know what it is, man. You've been supporting me since I got in there, so I appreciate you. And I love what you're doing with the high school lane I ain't even familiar with. So you are a pioneer in that, and don't let nobody tell you different. I appreciate that. And Joe, you already know how you get down. Me and you gonna go back and forth. Just it's petty time over here, but I'll do it.
I'm Mark Holmes. You know, this I might as well be Mark Holmes. It's like every day I'm on his channel, we playing the but it's great to be on here, man. I enjoy these streams when you and Big James do these. I'm a fan of Rome. I'm subscribed to his channel as well, so it's an honor to be here, man. I'm a little excited, and this is cool, man. I've never worked with these two guys before, so it's nice to do it. And hopefully first of many times. So it's awesome.
Definitely. I honestly didn't even realize you guys never worked together. So I'm glad I could put that together because these are on the screen right now, three of my favorite guys, you know, regardless of team. So I'm excited to do this. But all right, we were really way too nice for that. Your nice little 5 minutes. That felt weird. Let's remember that football's right around the corner, you guys. So like I said, me and James have some topics we do want to bring up. I'm going to start us off. And I want to ask, one preseason game in, and this goes for both teams. This goes for the Eagles, and then obviously Rome and James, you talk about the Cowboys. And we'll start with you, 500. For the Eagles, is there anybody that stood out to you so far, or any, team drills, anything that's sticking out to you so far after one preseason game, a little bit deeper into training camp?
Well, the thing with camp and stuff is a lot of that stuff that we hear, we can't see firsthand. We only are hearing from what reporters are reporting. So I'll stick with what I saw, and that was that preseason game. What impressed me more than anything were the three rookies. Cam Jurgens goes out there, plays a whole half, starts. You have Jordan Davis. I mean, he made such an impact, just his presence. And then Nakobe Dean out of nowhere. I mean, we didn't hear a lot about him. As soon as the lights went on, he was ready to go. So that's what I take out of it. And of course, you hear the things about Devontae Smith, and I thought Hurts played good, but it was only one drive. But I take those rookies. From what I saw, those rookies really impressed me last week.
Yeah. I agree 100%. I mean, my biggest thing, obviously, people are going to bring up the Jalen Hurts being perfect on his drive, and if they weren't, I'm going to do it for them because he was perfect on his first drive, and it looks nice. Everything that we saw, it looked like a well-oiled machine in the first half, right? It looked like everything we were kind of billing this to be up on paper, and now we need to see that consistently. We heard a lot of good things out of this Cleveland Browns joint practice. So as Eagles fans, I know Cowboys fans know this. We're very excited about our team. So it'll be interesting to hear on your guys' side. I know a guy just went out there, Turpin, I think his name is, had like 2.
Yeah, y'all know who his name is. Don't act like you. I think I know who his name is. You know
You
who
guys
his name
go,
is.
you guys get
You know
trending.
who
You
his
guys
name
go
is.
trending.
It's Turpin time, baby. It's Turpin time.
Joe
We
was
know-
But no,
we
I mean,
only know-
so same question.
We only know about him because Mark.
Well,
Holmes
y'all
has
know
already
about it
done
because y'all was
10
watching that
videos
game
on it.
last night intently. Y'all know about it because y'all was watching that game. Stop lying over there.
tell the truth.
Hey,
Tell the
nah,
truth.
nah.
Y'all hit Google.
I know it because of James. I know it because James literally tweeted this morning and he was like, he's gonna have 2 if he makes the roster. So I was like, all right, I got to bring up his name.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't really watch the game. I was streaming, doing the shakedown. Then I went on Bad Dogs 24. Every time I looked up though at the TV because I did have it on, they were running back another kick return. So I mean, he looked great. But too bad your offense can't do anything.
Okay, well, that's why we got that devastating defense over there, Philly 500. Yeah.
I ain't worried about that defense, believe me.
You better be. You better
Not
be.
with the offensive line we got.
You'll see.
Now with the offensive
Line.
line.
Did you see? Okay, let Joe bring us in so we.
But
can
no, yeah. So back
down to you right now.
back to the road we were on. I guess this is gonna be a fun one. But no, same question to you guys, James. You can start. Actually, Rome, you can start it off. You're a guest.
Okay.
Yes, anybody that stood out to you? Anything standing out to you as far as training camp going? And after the preseason game, obviously.
You mean just player wise or just developments with the team?
Anything, realistically.
I feel like our defense is pretty much showing us that they're going to be back and better than they were last year. And for the most part, man, we looking like we got a hellacious defensive rotation on our defensive line. Like we're going to have a hard time at cutdowns. We have a lot of pass rushers from Sam Williams who probably won't even. He'll probably just rotate in. Dante Fowler is pretty much in the first 2 games. He's flashed like, oh, he's back to his normal self. Because remember, he was hurt last year. Yeah. So we got Fowler, we got D-Law, we got Sam Williams, and we got Dorrance Armstrong, to name a couple. Obviously, we got Micah Parsons, who rotates in at DN whenever we want him to. So our pass rush is looking pretty vicious. And our D tackles for the first time in a long time, it's a struggle to see who's going to make the team as far as just praying that we got 2 people that we can put out there. Oso Odigizua is pretty much solidified himself, I feel like, as our 3 tech. He's going to be pretty. A guy named Quentin Bohanna out of Kentucky that really has come along since last year, like to the point where Mike McCarthy's starting to mention him by name in press conferences, and it's showing on the field to where he's going to be our 1 tech. And we ain't had a 1 tech since like 85. I don't know. It's been a minute. Don Terry Poe, but you know how that ended. I feel like we got Neville Gallimore, we got Tristan Hill, who flashed last night with a strip sack and recovery. Our defensive line, but for the first time in a long time, I'm like, our defensive line is going to be a real big strength for this team. I think that's the main thing. It's just like looking at the defense, I feel like that's going to be the catalyst. Obviously, I love our safety room. Malik Hooker is having a great camp, and it's under the radar, but he's a great safety. Jerron Kearse. We got a dude named Marquise Bell out of Florida A&M. He looks real legit, but just looks like a great piece to be on the team. He'll make the team, I feel like. And then last, Israel Mukwamu, our draft pick from last year, he was flashing all over the field. Interception, coming up and being physical, making tackles. So you see my theme right now is for the first time in a long time, I can really legitimately say not our defense at all. I'm looking forward to punishing some of them bad quarterbacks on our schedule. So that's what I'm rolling.
Sound like an Eagles fan like a couple years ago. That's how we felt last night. Like 2 or 3 years. It's weird because I feel like we've switched. I feel like we've switched roles. We're now looking at an offense that might be very explosive. You guys are now more focusing on your defense. You guys are more being care. You still have a good offense. I'm not going to sit here and, act like you don't have a good offense, but you're obviously taking a step backwards from saying we have to have 3 number 1 wide receivers out there and kind of just taking a back seat to what your defense could do for you. So it's kind of weird that maybe we're switching roles a little bit, but I mean, how are you feeling, James, as far as the off season goes? Oh no, you good.
I mean, you know what? It is what it is. I've been a defensive guy. I'm being a defensive guy for life. So I've been screaming for defense for 100 million years in Dallas. I'm tired of the flash and dash with Dallas. That's always what it's been made of. We always been an offensive team. We always marketed the offense. But you know what? When Dallas won them Super Bowls, I'm not trying to go back to them days, but when Dallas won them Super Bowls in them 90s, it was that defense. We had the offense, but it was when we got all of them young players in that draft and they matured very quickly and that defense took over, then it was like, okay, now you got the total package. And this is what I'm seeing right now. And I'm not hyping this. Y'all know me. I ain't no hyper. I'm not going to hype nothing. But what I'm going to bounce off Rome on this, the main thing I was talking about with our defense is 2 things. The front line. Bohanna, Ridgeway, Watkins, Osa, Tristan Hill, Golston, all those guys. There's a lot of those guys. And I said those guys have to be the catalyst in that middle because if we can stop the run, because they still teams averaged over 100, I think about 13 yards a game in the season against Dallas. Toward the end of the season, that's where you could kind of see more of the chinks to the armor. And I forgot to mention Gallimore because Gallimore has been a dog as well. But if those guys can hold that middle, especially what Rome was talking about Quentin Bohanna, he looked very good in that Denver game. It looked like he got his weight back. That's what we've all been screaming. Get that 350 back where you can hold and plug that center and guard where you can allow your linebackers and other guys to be free. The Micah Parsons, the other linebackers, Jabril Cox, who looked very good, by the way, yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Barr. So if you can do that, you feel good. They're continuing to do that in the preseason. So that's why we get excited. And then like Rome said, we got Izzy Mukamu. He was like maybe a roster bubble guy in the training camp. But you guess what? See, the good thing about it is it's kind of like when you go to college and you go to Alabama, everybody good. So if you don't bring it, you're going to sit the bench, okay? Yeah. So Izzy's looking at it like, hey, there's a lot of guys out here. I got to bring it. He brought it. First play came in, wrecked the
offense. You saw him pick up Herbert too?
Yeah. You feel me? First play came in, wrecked the run. Next play came and got the interception and was playing good in coverage. So when you really talk about it, we feel great about the defense. We're not hyping this up. But Dan Quinn, we always said he's a better defensive coordinator, in my opinion, than head coach. And when you can just focus on the defense and you can roll in the type of players that you want to get and just basically have fun in the lab every day, that's when you be great. And I feel like Dallas is bringing those type of guys. Marquise Bell, he mentioned. Deron Bland, who he mentioned. Hamu, who he mentioned. Dante Fowler, who I mentioned in 2019, he had 11.5 sacks, right? Aaron Donald, Michael Brockers, Clay Matthews all had 23.5 sacks. Dante Fowler is better when he has talent. Guess what? He's got a DeMarcus Lawrence on the other side. Guess what? He's got a Micah Parsons. Now he's going to play better. So that's why I'm excited. And the only thing I'm going to say about the offense.
You want double Fowler or you want double Parsons? Who you going to let run free?
You feel me? It's a lot of people. And we got a Brick Sam Williams. So, and you still got guys coming in ways. But if I'm going to talk about the offense, because I don't want to talk too much, I'm going to end it right here. But this is what I'm going to say. Philly 500 was like, yeah, I'll spend offense suspect. Yeah, it might be with these receivers. I'll agree with you. I still don't feel good about the receiving core. I still feel like they need to make something happen with that. But I do feel better about that offensive line. I feel good about that first-round draft pick in Tyler Smith. I feel good about that Matt Arnold. That's that backup that could be the starting center. I like where they're progressing. And I will say this. We've been missing that element in the Dallas Cowboys for a very long time, and that's been special teams. Special teams has hurt Dallas for a long time, especially in the return game and the kick return. You basically didn't even think about Dallas when you kicked off to us or punt returns. Yeah. Now we got a guy named Turpentine, and I'm telling you, this little guy, and y'all remember Philly over there when y'all had a Darren Sproles, how electric he was and how much he can change the game, how much he could change the game in special teams. And when you can get a guy – listen, I'm not saying that.
Is this name really Turpentine?
This is the turpentine. If you can get a guy, you saw what happened. I'm just saying, y'all know it's true. If you can get 2 touchdowns in a game, special teams, that changes the whole game. If you can get one return like that, it changes the whole game. Now this guy is a threat, and you can put him in an offense. Now, when you put him in offense, teams will be like, uh-oh, watch turpentine. Now you can use him as a decoy. He opens up things for your offense, and that's what I'm excited about with him. Turpentine, baby.
One thing to James' point, I'm excited about our special teams returning wise, but to have some humility, we still got to make sure this kicking game legit. That scares me to death. That's our kicking game still ain't. It just ain't there yet. So I don't have confidence if the game on the line right now. I'm gonna be like heavy day drinking when it's time for field goals. So we need to just shore that up in the next couple of weeks to where I can feel confident we will go. Because right now, it feels like it's 50-50 when they line up, and that's not a good thought process when we kick.
Yeah, no, it's fine. See, I feel like the Cowboys. I think you guys have some. I don't think you guys have any real reason to be like thinking that you guys are way better than you were last year. I really do feel. I've seen a lot of people in the comments saying like we didn't take a step back. You guys definitely did. I will say that the defense might somehow get a little bit better, but a lot of last year defense. A lot of what happened with the defense last year was opportunity as well. You don't always get those opportunities to get that many, turnovers. That is a tough thing to replicate. So there's a lot of things that you did last year that's going to be tough to replicate.
Turnovers. Me and James.
But at the end of the day, the defensive performance is going to be hard to mirror. That's going to be hard to replicate. Well, you guys were a very opportunistic defense.
I'll ask you a question, Joe. Your defense was ranked what last year?
I think we were like total defense.
Yeah.
Total defense. I think we were like somewhere like middle of the league. I don't know the exact number, but somewhere like 15, 17 probably.
Going from 15, 16 or wherever 14 to top 5, because I've heard you guys saying top 5 defense. Or is it easier to go from 7th? Because everybody we had is coming back on our defense. But you guys are saying we're going to probably – y'all supposed to jump 10 spots? I'm just wondering.
I don't think we'll be a top 5 defense. I think we'll be top 5 in certain categories. I can't speak for everybody, but in my opinion, it's more so you're looking at like the sack numbers and saying you were like number 29.
Big Joe.
We have Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick has way more skin in the game, and it's proven.
He is not a Mike. No, we don't do that.
He's a pass rusher, though.
Don't do that, Joe.
We don't need a Micah Parsons. We don't need a Micah Parsons.
No.
If we had a Micah Parsons, it would be beautiful. But again, that's opportunities. That was a lot of opportunities for him.
Joe, I'm not hating on Hassan Reddick. He's a very good player. I told you that myself. He's a very good player. He's a dog, matter of fact. But he's not a Micah Parsons, and you know that. And whenever you have a Micah Parsons on your team, it does change the whole complexity of the defense, because Micah Parsons, you have to keep an eye on him. So it opens up everything else. You saw it as a rookie. And just like Rome said, we didn't lose. We lost to Randy Gregory, but we still added to it, and even in the draft. So when you look at it as a whole, you don't say, well, you're probably not going to get maybe 30-something interceptions. Yes, but you're still going to have a very strong defense, a teams that are going to get you off the field. It's still very opportunistic. Got an interception last night, so they still are opportunistic. We got a strip sack fumble from Tristan Hill. So it's still opportunistic, dog.
I don't know. My thing is, you're not going to be asking Micah Parsons to. You're not going to be asking Micah Parsons to be a hand in the dirt down lineman. If you do, that means because you have injuries or things aren't going as planned. So he's not going to have those same type of opportunities. That's my biggest thing.
He is going to have opportunities in anything. When you add players to him that are good players, it makes him better. That's why you added an Anthony Barr to free a Micah Parsons. That's why you did bring a Dante. Yeah, you did. Shut shaking your head, Philly, over there.
Anthony, that guy needs a cane. That guy barely
cut it out. See, you know what? You listening?
Let me ask Philly.
I don't really believe you, Philly, because you just listen to other people. You don't believe he's washed up.
I watched him hop around the.
Cut it out.
What are you talking about?
Hold on. Let me ask you a question.
There's a lot of older guys on that Cowboys team. I'm not too worried about.
25 years old on defense. Stop that.
You look at your main. You look at your main characters, right? You look at the DeMarcus Lawrence that you keep bringing up.
He's only 30. He's the only one that's 30.
Okay, DeMarcus Lawrence is way past his prime, in my opinion. He's a great run stopper. That's about it for me. That's all he really is for me.
Graham is 35.
I'm not talking about age. I'm talking about what they've given you. DeMarcus Lawrence is one of the most overrated defensive linemen.
Somebody else 30 years old on our team on the line.
I'm not talking about just age. I'm talking about what they're getting. You look at this team in general. A lot of your guys aren't going to make it past your rebuild. That's the whole notion. Like, you guys are trying to retool and get these young players when you have guys that are either in their prime or getting past it.
Joe, don't make me run down your 30-year.
Right.
It's a lot
old man Slay.
On age.
It's a lot of
We're not going to ask Brandon Graham to do what you're asking not Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence to do.
Yes, you are.
So that DeMarcus
Fletcher Cox. How old is Fletcher Cox?
We're not asking. We have a guy waiting in the wing that might be better than him right now.
But
is he past his prime?
No. Well, yeah, probably. He probably
is.
Yeah, okay. That's why y'all cut him.
He didn't cut
him.
And
he came right back. He came right back.
That was a salary cap move.
Okay.
That's all.
He is past his prime, though, right?
Is Jordan Davis going to start?
I think by halfway through the year, he's going to start.
Yeah. So y'all going to
I wouldn't be surprised.
Y'all going to bench Cox?
It's not bench, though. It's not bench, though. You look at it. It's not that black and white.
You're going to bench Hargrave. You're gonna probably have Hargrave out there. Yeah. Well, listen, he was taking second team reps last week.
Thank you, Philly. Philly kept it up.
But it's not benching. Yeah. Tell me if I'm wrong. 500. The way that we run our system, the way that we run our defensive linemen, it's always been a rotation. So they're probably going to. He might not be the first person out there. Yes, okay, but at the same time, he's going to see his snaps, and they're all going to see their snaps. And that's the thing. We're not asking our older stars to do what you're asking your older stars to do.
I just told you that we got 4 or 5 edge rushers. DeMarcus Lawrence ain't going to start all the snaps. You just heard me say it.
We rotate.
Hopefully not against Lane Johnson.
Who's gonna be your defensive end? So you're counting Micah Parsons as one of your edge guys?
No,
that's what we're doing.
No, I'm not. It's gonna be Fowler and it's gonna be D. Law. So they're both over the hill.
Yeah, Parsons should be
both
edge rushers.
No, I'm asking both of you right now. No, I'm asking both of you right now. DeMarcus Lawrence and Dante Fowler are over the hill.
I think Dante Fowler.
What's he done?
Fowler's over the hill.
He's 27.
But
that doesn't matter.
Only 3 years ago, he had 11.
How many years ago?
What is what's the obsession with age though? So what's the obsession with age though?
Wait. 3 years ago? 3 years
when he was
ago,
with the good team with the Rams, I just broke that down.
Was dominating.
We won Super Bowl 4 years ago, but we can't talk about that. But you can bring up a 3 year.
I don't know.
What I'm saying is, Joe.
Corner in the league last year. Any start.
What I'm saying is, Joe. When he got around good talent, when he had 11.5 sacks, Philly and Joe, he was around good talent. Now Dante Fowler's around a Micah Parsons. Listen, he was around a Micah Parsons now. He's around a DeMarcus Lawrence. He has talented players around him. I'm saying he's going to go around and get 11.5 sacks, but what I'm saying is that is a good addition. It's going to make him bring out the best in him because now he has talented players. When he is by himself, he's not that guy. I admit that. But when he's around talent, he does better. And now he has that again.
I think your guys' defense is
Brandon Graham or D-Law.
I take Brandon Graham.
Oh,
you are lying, Philly.
Hold on.
Brandon Graham who?
That's questionable.
Hold on, time out. Brandon Graham or who?
I'm asking you, Joe.
Question.
Brandon Graham, Joe. Brandon Graham. Who would you take right now? Brandon Graham or DeMarcus Lawrence, Joe?
Or DeMarcus Lawrence?
Yes.
I would take Brandon Graham. I'll tell you why.
I'll
take Brandon Graham.
I'll
take Brandon Graham.
Why?
But I'll tell you what, though, it's fair to say with the Achilles, he might not be. That's fair.
That's the only
You don't know how a guy comes back from that. That's fair.
Brandon Graham has a higher pass rush rate. Brandon Graham has a higher hurry.
Way more hurries. Rate. No, he
does not.
He does not have a pressure rate. He does not have a higher pressure rate or hurry.
No, he doesn't. Prior to his injury,
look it up right now.
We're going to look that up
right now.
DeMarcus Lawrence is elite at run stopping. That's it. Outside of that one year that he got the 12 sacks, he hasn't done much outside of that.
Brandon Graham's very good at run stopping too, though. He's
Mhm.
no slouch.
Is he
And
better
Brandon
than
Graham-
DeMarcus Lawrence? He doesn't rate higher than DeMarcus Lawrence.
But
I'm
here's
gonna
the
pull up
thing:
some stats.
Brandon Graham is one of those like one of the spirits on that defense. Like him in the lineup affects everybody a different way. So I value Brandon Graham in that way. That's why I would say Brandon Graham, because when the Eagles lost him last year, totally changed.
Y'all was looking for edge rushers. Remember, Philly?
We always looking for him.
Do you ever see Derek Barnett play? You ever
Yeah,
see
facts.
Derek Barnett play? You got to get a pet. They need to. They still need.
If you hear a whistle going off, it's Derek Barnett false starting
fuck
somewhere
that.
in the
Alright,
far distance. All right, so let's bring this back a little bit. Let's bring a little semblance of control. I know that kind of went crazy for a little bit. But James, did you wanted to get a question in, brother?
Oh no, I'm gonna be good. You know, I don't want to go crazy and stuff, but I just feel like I feel like y'all still lying to yourselves. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but I just don't feel like y'all believe that with the Brandon Graham, DeMarcus Lawrence thing. I feel like y'all reaching with that
I definitely would take
because Brandon Graham, he was a dog a few years ago. You know, when he was with the 30, the 31, Brandon Graham was a dog. I can't even say that. But now at this age, a comparison to DeMarcus Lawrence, you saw when D-Law was out those 10 games, and I'll admit, I'm the one of the biggest critics of DeMarcus Lawrence. If you watch any of my shows, I'm
you don't even
the
like
biggest
D-Law.
critic of
If I'm keeping it real,
I don't even like D-Law. Like, listen to Rome. Listen to Rome.
But Brandon Graham was out too. You saw the difference last year when he was out. Our run defense was terrible.
The difference of Dallas's defense too when DeMarcus Lawrence came back.
Jay, you don't got to go at D-Law like that every time he tweet.
Brandon Graham got hurt. Last year, Brandon Graham got hurt, and we saw a massive drop off from this run defense for the Philadelphia Eagles. It was night and day. So there's no way that you can tell me that it's that far of a difference. Maybe there's like I will be honest that
I didn't say
that little bit of a closeness is me putting I've seen more of Brandon Graham that I can say that I would take him.
Well,
I don't sit there and watch
Okay.
DeMarcus Lawrence, just like you guys probably
DeMarcus Lawrence hasn't done a lot.
No, I do watch Brandon Graham.
He hasn't done a
Say
lot
again,
against the
Father?
Eagles.
No, I'm saying lately he has, because remember,
He
I
had
was
one
talking about that Lane Johnson.
He can't stop Lane Johnson. It was like 3-4 years
who's
that he
done a lot against
couldn't
the
get a
Eagles?
sack on Lane Johnson.
Y'all favorite player, Trayvon Diggs. That's who's done a lot against the Eagles.
Oh, here we go.
He'll give up a lot of yards.
Here we
too,
go.
so
How?
There we
He
go.
got 4 interceptions against y'all though.
who cares? That's
For
last
now,
year.
for now,
I'm like,
yeah.
I care. That
I'm
means he's a
done.
playmaker. You said you.
I know
see,
he's a
you don't want to talk
playmaker.
about that.
I know.
Okay,
No, he's a
good.
playmaker.
As long as you know that.
He-
I like that.
No, I know it. I like Trayvon Diggs. I was hoping
That's
we were
what's
going to
up.
draft him, to be honest.
I appreciate that.
I like
He's the
Trayvon
first person
Diggs.
to keep it real.
But
See, I wouldn't. See, he's keeping it
appreciate
realer
you,
than I
Philly.
will. Like I
kept it
agree
real
with
you,
him. Don't
Joe.
get me
I
wrong,
kept,
but
I kept it real with you, Joe, about Jordan Davis, though. I kept it real with you
I keep it
about
real with
Jordan
y'all to a
Davis.
certain extent.
And
To a certain
you
extent.
be lying a little bit, Joe.
Who
But
says
hey,
Jordan
Sometimes
Davis
y'all
is
get me
bad?
mad.
That's his line.
Y'all know how to trigger me. But no, I want to ask another question. Say again.
Oh, go.
No, I wanted to ask another question because we always talk about we talk a lot about surface level stuff on our channels, and obviously we go in depth sometimes and really try to dig some stuff out. But now that we're all together, as Eagles fans, I want to know on your side, and as Cowboys fans, we'll give you a little bit of the juice, I guess, on our side. But I guess I'll start it off with a statement, and you guys kind of go where you want with it. But I want to know, what's something the outsiders should know about your team that they're maybe discounting? Like with the Eagles, me personally, I think a lot of focus is going on Jalen Hurts. A lot of focus is going on, the top guy as far as AJ Brown. But I think that a lot of teams on the outside and a lot of fans on the outside should be ready for guys named Quez Watkins. Get ready for guys Devontae Smith to take a big step. So I think that there's hidden players on this team. Is there anything you guys, and 500, we'll start with you, that you look at this team and be like, people aren't even saying anything about this, and it's going to surprise the heck out of them once the season comes?
you want me to go first? You said me?
Yeah, you
You
can
said
go
me?
first.
Well, I'll say, I think I think the Eagles' defense is going to be better than people think. I think that people expect the offense, if Jalen Hurts can play, to be pretty good. But, they're talking about the defensive line. You win football games with the line of scrimmage. The Eagles have one of the better offensive lines in the league. I think they're going to surprise people on the defense they have, because I think the defensive line is better than people think. And I think the linebacking core is going to really shock people. So I think the Eagles defensively are going to be better. And they were talking about Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, he may go get 13, 15 sacks. Total stud. I agree. Total stud. But I still think Hassan Reddick can get you 10 to 12 sacks. So the Eagles are going to be able to get pressure also. So I think the defense is going to be a surprise for some people this year.
And then Rome, you could take it. You the guest. You know what I'm saying? We gotta go. We gotta let the guests go first.
I really think a lot of people are discounting our run game, and I think it's a lot of Dallas is taking a step back because it's not a lot of people saying it's because Dak can't throw. It's because it's like, oh, you got a CD Lamb, and after you bracket him and shade coverage, what you gonna do? And I think the way we're gonna get our defenses to respect us is we're gonna run them right out of that bracket coverage. Because if you paid attention to our first 2 preseason games, the one thing we have been doing, even with the new changes on offensive line, and even with our backup tackles, is run blocking. They've been run blocking really well. We even found another running back named Malik, because he's been looking pretty decent, getting like 5-6 yards a clip in the preseason. But I think that one thing that we'll do to get Tyler Smith, our first rounder, more comfortable, and to get everybody on a new offensive line more comfortable, is getting them going forward and not coming backwards. While we're waiting for Michael Gallup to come back in the first 3 to 4 weeks, and waiting for our receiving core, unlike last year where we had to surprisingly watch our defense catch up to our offense, and our offense came out firing. I think that this year our run game and our defense are going to be our catalyst, and then our offense, as far as our high flying components, when Michael Gallup comes back, gets acclimated, and our receiving room gets a little bit more healthy, I think year. And the irony is when our schedule starts to soften up, we'll start to get our receivers back, which is going to be trouble for the teams, because you're going to think that we're more of a running team. And I think that what we're going to do against the Rams and the Bengals and the Bucks is run the air out the ball and make them score on our defense. That's why I think our running game is ironic with Zeke and Tony Pollard is getting overlooked. It's almost like we don't have a running game. It's like, well, once you take away Dak, what you going to do? And I'm like, you do know we have some pretty good running backs back there. Like, it's not like we're putting out, like, you know what I'm saying, average running backs at best. We got a pretty good tandem. I know a lot of people try to put Pollard versus Zeke, but at the end of the day, I don't got to pick one. I got both. So I feel like that run game is going to be what most people are going to overlook. And I think by the time people start focusing on the run game, that's when the receiving room and stuff will catch up to what we'll be doing on that side on that part of the offense.
Yeah. How about you, James? How you feel about that?
It's going to kind of flow off Ron when he's talking about the run game. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised about our offensive line. That was one of the big things coming into the draft, or, we lost to Connor Williams, Aleo Collins was gone, but people are going to learn to respect Terrence Steele. He's going against the DeMarcus Lawrence every practice. I've said this time and time again, you're going against an elite playmakers. It's different when you're in practice and you're playing against guys that really aren't different, but it is a big difference when you're going against dogs every single day. And like, oh, Terrence Steele's getting worked by Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. Yeah, I like that. Let him get work, because you're going against some of the dogs out there in the whole league. So if you can learn how to contain them, it gets easy when you get in the game and you're going against top shelf defensive ends. So I think it's going to be all right. He's shown, and I think it's going to be okay. And Tyler Smith is an animal. I don't care what anybody tells me. That dude is cock strong like Tyron Smith. Once he gets his hands on you, you're not going nowhere. So
I can't wait for Jordan Davis, Tyler Smith.
Dog, that's going to be.
I can't either, because the way I talk about him,
because Tyler,
I can't wait.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, Jordan Davis. I told you, Joe, and I'll tell you, Philly. He's an animal. He's a dog. He's going to give problems for the whole NFC East in the NFL for a very, very, very long time. I won't run away. But there's going to be some good battles with Tyler Smith, because Tyler Smith Ain't no joke, dog. He is cock strong. He likes that action. He likes all that contact. He wants to put you on the ground. He loves pancakes and syrup. So that's going to be a great battle. So people going to be slipping on our offense. And also, this is 1B, them tight ends. Okay, y'all should know, Philly. Y'all got them tight ends. Remember when y'all had y'all tight ends was running that 12 personnel? Y'all were dogs with that 12 personnel.
They got one tight end.
But we got some
one tight end.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Don't hate
I'm
on my
just
boy
saying,
Jack Stahl, man. I had him on the channel.
I'm
His
just
family
saying.
watches. Don't say stuff like
I'm
that.
just
guys.
saying.
Rome, you're gonna get me in trouble.
Philly back in the day, like a 3 or 4, when y'all had 2-3 tight ends, man, that was deadly, and it was a problem for defenses when y'all had them tight ends running. Well, guess what? Didn't re-extend Dalton Schultz, and I'm gonna tell you probably why. Because Jake from State Farm Ferguson is that real deal. Okay, remember the name, Jake from State Farm. He comes in there. He got the wiggle. Listen, he got the wiggle. He's a good block. He's got excellent hands, and I love his number 48. There was a great tight end back in the day. I used to watch named Todd Christensen. His number was 48. And then we got another guy named Peyton Hendershot from Indiana. He's number 49. You better keep an eye on him. So 48 and 49 in that lineup, it's going to looking good. So don't sleep on the play. They may go long in tight ends and keep 4 this time. They're going to have Pendershot. He's going to be playing game day. So keep an eye on that offensive line, Joe and Philly, and look at those 2 rookies right there. They're going to be a problem down in the future.
I'm glad y'all think y'all defensive line is good because y'all definitely gonna need it. I will say I know 500 got to get off here soon because we got a game to watch. You know what I'm saying? I know you're probably going live for that.
I got another 5
All
minutes.
right, cool. So I got one more question. Anyways, I wanted to kind of close it out on for everybody. Realistically, we're about like 2 weeks now away from the actual game time until this is actually real, which is kind of crazy to say. How close do you think your team realistically is? Do you think that they're ready, for the week 1 battle? Some of us haven't really seen our quarterbacks all that much. Eagles are probably not going to play their starters today. I know you guys didn't really play your starters in your first preseason game. Do you think you guys have done enough, have enough time to get ready? We'll start it off with you, Rome, because we've had you going last like every time. So.
No, I'll be quick. I think that we're ready for the season, but there are a couple things I want on this team, and I beat this drum every day on every stream or video I do. I want a swing tackle, no question. I don't know if they're waiting for cuts and seeing if they can catch somebody better. Man. We need a swing tackle, no question. And I would love a veteran receiver just because I feel like they're putting a whole lot of pressure on Jalen Tolbert. And I like Jalen Tolbert a lot. But, I mean, I don't think that's fair to be like, hey, man, you got to beat Michael Gallup before Michael Gallup gets back. Even though it's only going to be 3 or 4 weeks, that's just a lot of pressure. I'm not saying he can't live up to it, but that's a lot. When you can go get a veteran receiver real quick and just have him patch that hole for 3 to 4 weeks. But I don't think the Cowboys are going to do it because Stephen Jones is wild cheap and he want to keep them. I don't know what's going on with that. But as far as the team overall, man, I'm just looking forward to, seeing, because you hear reports and you hear about Dak being more crisp in camp than he's been in years past. Last year, obviously, he couldn't practice. And then, the year before that, he had a decent camp and he came out firing, but then he got hurt, So I think when we talk NFC East, it's almost like Dak gets put on the back burner. We talk defensive lines, we talk offensive lines, we talk receiving corps and everything like that. And then when we get the quarterback, it's brush passes super quick. That's our biggest asset. We have the best quarterback in the division. And it's like, whatever, let's talk about somebody else. And it's like, we can't talk about our best asset. Like, that's our best asset at the end of the day. Whether you like him or you don't like him, he's a legitimate starting top 10 quarterback. Even if you want to argue 11 or 12, Joe.
I will.
It's a bunch of teams that would take him. So that's our biggest asset. And I feel like people need to stop overlooking.
I respect that. James, how you feeling, brother?
I mean, I'm gonna just give my real feelings about it. I'm don't like the receiver situation bouncing off Rome. I feel like I said, Jalen Tolbert does have the talent, but we seen when Michael Gallup was a rookie and Amari Cooper got hurt in that Jets game, and we were relying on a rookie and Gallup, and he flopped. You get what I'm saying? He wasn't really ready for that pressure. He wasn't ready for that life. And it's not that player is not going to eventually be good or be a dog, But it's different when you're a rookie coming to NFL, man, especially when expectations are starting to be put on you. It's different when you can come in and you already have an Amari Cooper, a CD Lamb, and then you can just kind of blend and kind of come slow roll. But now when you're expected to be a starter and you've never seen anything before, it's got a different type of test and mentality. Just really don't want that for these young guys right now. Houston, I like him. That's a lot of pressure to be throwing on these guys right now. And really, I feel like, I just really don't like how you, in my opinion, how you doing Dak. Get you a nice veteran in there to kind of smooth things out until those other guys can get acclimated. Then when they're feeling good about themselves, you can let go of that vet. You don't need to keep him because you ain't keeping him beyond a year or two anyway. You get what I'm saying? Where you manipulate the cap and say, we're trying to really look out for our quarterback and our team. So in that aspect, I don't like that. But I like our defense. Our defense really is going to feel like going to keep us in the game. And so if it has to be a low scoring game, I'm cool with that as long as we come out W's right now. So if anything, I would say we're prepared for the season, but we're not prepared because I feel like that you can really solidify some things and make us feel strong going into week one. But like Rome said, we know how Stephen Jones is, so to roll with it. And we know how Stephen Jones is, so we just kind of have to roll with it and just hope for the best. And like Rome said, we got a Dak Prescott, and when you got a top quarterback like that, he can make things for you. So I hope those things continue to happen week one and beyond.
Yeah, I hope Stephen Jones keeps his energy. I like what he's doing. Very proud of the young man. He went in there and he's doing great. I'm proud of him. Great job from him. 500. How you feeling about our birds, man? I'm telling you, a lot of good things we've been hearing about these Eagles. Right? It's been a lot of positivity. But as Eagles fans, we've lived through this, and we've lived through a lot of positivity to kind of come out flat. But I don't think that it's going to be like this year. But how do you feel about us? Do you think we're ready to go week one?
There's one concern that I have, one big concern, and that's the running back situation. Because if you look at Miles Sanders, now again with a hamstring injury, you take him out of that lineup. Who are your running backs? Gainwell and Boston Scott, right? And then maybe Huntley. I don't think that's good enough. I think even if Miles Sanders can play, I still think you need a bigger back. I think you need a physical back. So I think that the Eagles, we'll see what the waiver wire produces stuff. I still think they need to upgrade their running back situation. And if you want to talk about a couple other positions, I mean, I'm not so sold on Anthony Harris or Tart right now from what we've heard. So you may have a problem with that safety position. And I don't like that we don't really have any backup tight ends to my man Dallas Goedert. I think the tight end 2 spot is a little weak. Those concern me. And then with the lack of play, I'm old-fashioned. I think you should play in preseason. I think you need reps. I think they need reps. So that's what scares me. Otherwise, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, right. Send us some helmets. We ready to go. Who cares if the team's out? I mean, this is gonna be a really fun year. I really do feel like you hit it on the head, man. Like the Eagles need to worry about running back, which I think that they feel comfortable with what they have, but at the same time, they have their eyes peeled. I know a lot of people are bringing up Kareem Hunt. I don't think that's the route we go. If we can get him for like a 4th round pick, let's get it. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if the Browns are going to be working with us. I'm all on board if you can get him for cheap, but I don't know if we will be able to. But you look at the safety position, that's another spot, and there are some areas that you're worried about. And if you are worried about what Jalen Hurts was last year, we can't sit here and say that he's 110% not that. We've seen good signs that he's moved forward, but that's still something that we have to actually see on paper, right? Or on field, right? So I'm excited for all that. I am ready for week one. I agree with you, 500. I would love for these guys to go out there and actually play a little bit. I know that they love these, practices, the joint practices. It's funny. I was telling my girl, she was like, why aren't they going to play in the preseason? I was like, I was trying to tell you, these joint practices are like everything to them. So it is what it is. I hope that they got enough out of it. But I think that they'll be ready. I think you're a professional. You've been with the team long enough. Just go out there and knock some heads off. I think we'll be ready. But look, I'm gonna wrap this up now. We have about 420 people in the chat. Be sure to hit the like, hit the subscribe, join everybody's family. We do things here at Best of Enemies a little bit differently. It got off tracks early because Rome loves to piss me off and I'm blaming it on him. You know what I'm saying? Usually I try not to get too bad, but Rome knows my buttons. But no, I love these conversations, man. I really do. I love these conversations. So Rome, I appreciate you coming on, man. And 500, you already know, brother. I appreciate you coming on as well. James, do you have anything you want to say, brother?
Oh, just in this, love the forum. Really appreciate you. First time I got to see you, Philly. I love your insight. I love how you talk. Hopefully, like you said, we can do some more shows with this. I really love how you bring it. I love your attitude. I really like that. Of course, mad respect to my dog, Rome, killing, like I said, in the Cowboys community. I've always loved listening to you and talking with you. And just really love how we do this, the Best of Enemies podcast. Please go like, support, follow this, man. It's going to be epic how we go to the regular season. We're going to be jumping on, especially when we get to our Philly matchups. This has been and just please go support this like no other, man. I really love how Joe has done this, how he's really built this, and how he's really maintained this. So just shout outs to you, and shout out to everybody that was on the panel. I had a great time once again.
Yes, sir. And you can get to Rome's channel and Philly 500's channel by literally clicking my title. If you go into my title, their names are literally linked to the title. So definitely go show love. These are two of my really good friends off of the, forget football, forget sports, forget YouTube. Have a lot of love and respect for these guys. So I really do appreciate it. Do you guys have anything you want to say before we get out of here? 500 or Rome? You guys got anything you want to say?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I just want to say thank you, man. I appreciate you for having me on. Great meeting you, Philly.
Yeah, you too.
Like I said, I pay attention to your content every day. You know what I'm saying? You, Joe, Philly Mike, Lord Brunson, everybody. That's where I get my Philly news. I don't really pay attention to what they talking about on the major networks. But I appreciate y'all, man. This is an honor. And if y'all want me to jump back on, man, you already know, Joe. Just let me know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, yeah, we out of here, man. Y'all know what it is, man. I'm Joe. That is James, and there was way too much Cowboys talk today, but we are the Best of Enemies.
All right.
Peace.
We're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're